like to introduce our speaker, Jocelyn Birch-Barker, to you. She's a founder, practice owner, veterinarian and mother. And she has experienced many areas of the veterinary profession since graduation in 1983, from the cattle industry to mixed and small animal practice. She's held positions on national and state boards and committees and has taken time out from her career to raise her children. As the owner of High Street Veterinary Surgery, Jocelyn has hands-on day-to-day experience in today's veterinary marketplace. She understands the complexities of running a profitable practice while having an excellent lifestyle for herself and every team member. As the founder of Smooth Operating Vets, Jocelyn is working to create mother-friendly veterinary practices. Jocelyn has been a speaker at conferences nationally and internationally and has done many podcasts and webinars speaking about how we as a profession must change our workplace systems to keep our fantastic women veterinarians in the clinical space. She's won the Australian Veterinary Association Veterinary Business Group Veterinary Business Thought Leader Award, sponsored by Hills and Co-Vetris in 2022. So Jocelyn, dedicated to inspiring and enabling women vets to achieve whatever they desire in their careers while balancing it with their families and life. I really look forward to your talk and please feel very welcome and go ahead.
Thank you, Crixie, for your kind introduction. Good morning, fellow veterinarians. I guess we're all veterinarians here today, mostly. And it's an honour to address you today at the World Veterinary Association Congress. So who am I really and what do I have to offer you? I've been a veterinarian for 40 years now, but the point is I've been a woman veterinarian for 40 years now. So I've seen a lot of changes and I hope I've gathered together a lot of wisdom over that time that I might be able to share with you. So when I graduated in 1983, I know most of you weren't born then. Yeah, good, great. It was a great year. I couldn't get a job, even in the rural and regional areas of Queensland, which is that top area of Australia, near my hometown where I wanted to be back with my family. I couldn't get a job. And but when I did, things were very different there. We reused syringes, we washed them out, re-sterilised them, and the instruments in the pressure cooker. Remember those days? No? Okay, some of us do. Yeah, lovely. And there's no computers, and believe it or not, no mobile phones. So it was very different. We had these little cards, they were about this big, and you filled in name of dog, spay, how much it cost, end of. So I now have a companion animal practice, and in regional Australia, it's thriving, it's profitable, and I have a very happy team who are all there at the moment. I'm away for 7 weeks. They're all running the place. They are very much missing the x-ray. Apparently it broke. And so they're missing the x-ray more than they're missing me, I can assure you. Anyway, they got a loan one. It's working okay. And we get on really well with the other practices in town. So there's a lot of sharing and looking out for each other. So I'm now the average veterinarian, though a bit older. I'm female, experienced, dedicated. I work hard. I work part-time and I have a couple of children. And you may ask, why am I wearing scrubs? And it's because of a lot of unconscious bias that happens. It's profiling. If I wear a frock now, I'm dismissed as a little old lady. Irrelevant, nothing to add to the profession. If I wear scrubs, my everyday uniform, I feel comfortable. I feel confident. This is me, a vet with a practice. I'm a professional. I worked hard and I've achieved my goals. Over my time, before I went to vet school, I was told this is 45 years ago, I could not be a vet. And I really, really wanted to be a jillaroo and work with cattle and horses out in the outback. That's what I wanted to do. But I couldn't do that because girls were not allowed to the agriculture colleges. So I thought, okay, I could join the Air Force and fly aeroplanes because that's what you do in the Air Force. Nah, girls couldn't do that either. So I tried really hard, worked really hard, got into vet school, and then I thought, I can go and be a jillaroo now and go and work in the outback. So when I graduated, I was constantly told, because I worked up in the regional rural areas, oh, you don't look like a vet. Well, of course I didn't. I wasn't male, and there were only male vets out there. So that was okay. I went along with that. And then one day out there, I did a locum work at one of the big rural clinics there, and client came in and went, "Oh, you're Johnny Baker's wife." "No, I'm your new vet." Look at me go, I'm not someone's wife. And then when my children were growing up, one of my children, Gracie, God bless her, she's quite out there, chatterbox, and so I was always Gracie's mum, not even my name, that's okay. Now when my partner and I meet new people, it's assumed he's the vet all the time, and he goes, "No way, I don't do that." And recently, this was really cutting, you'll get it one day, I was asking if I was a pensioner. And that's okay. So people don't ask women what your profession is. They assume you don't have one. So I'm in my scrub. Yep, and I'm still profiled. When I went to the doctor to get the vaccines, because I'm travelling, I'm doing a whole world trip, and I went in there in my scrubs because I ducked out of work, go in there, get my vaccines. Dr. Jocelyn, veterinarian, and he goes, "Oh, so you're a vet nurse?" No, I'm not. I work in, I own a multi-million-dollar veterinary practice. And you have to tell them this. And this is one of my messages to you today. As veterinary women, we need to have a bigger and more professional profile. We must not be ignored or diminished. I want the conversation for all veterinary women to be, how's your practice going? Or how's your marketing strategy going? What's your view of the profession when you meet people? This is a practice just down south from us, all women practice, owned and run by women. It's a mixed practice, they do everything and they do after hours. Our closest emergency centre is 9 hours away. So all of our practices in the area do after hours, and this is a clinic that I just admire so much. This little girl here, this little cherry one here, she does her vet nursing there. It's an hour and a half from our clinic. And she comes up and she's our part-time practice manager. So don't ever say you can't do part-time. She is full-time mum, working, doing everything, but she just runs a really good show at our place, but she gets her fun out of being a vet nurse with them. Okay, so I love my profession. I earn good money, as any practice owner should. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about today. How we as veterinary women can have a successful future, be financially, professionally and personally successful. We are the future of the profession and we need to take on the responsibility at all levels of decision making now. Today we'll talk about gender diversity in veterinary medicine, some of the challenges faced by veterinary women and strategies for empowerment and success, the path forward, building a successful future, and of course we always have a conclusion. So on a serious note, we know this has happened, and I thank Cara Hopkins for some of the graphics used in this presentation. They're really cool. This graph illustrates what happened in the US, and we all know this has happened all over the world. Okay? The numbers of males applying in the US colleges has decreased to more than half, and the number of females is doubled. And we'll talk about this a bit later in the discussion as well. I graduated here. We had 50-50 male and female vets. I have heard some of the other unis around the world had quotas. We didn't have quotas, so in 83, 50-50 male and female vets graduated, so it sounds like we're really lucky. Now there's all these other women have graduated after me, and they're our workforce, they're our people now. 80% of our graduates are women. And so the profession is changing, and for some reason, we don't talk about the impact this change of gender has had on the whole profession. On the clinical vets, the researchers, the academics, the specialists, the rural vets and the production vets. But these vets, these ones down the bottom here, they're our future ones. They're the ones who'll be the specialists, the GP vets, the surgeons, the equine vets, the ones ensuring global health, the government vets, the food safety vets, the welfare vets, the CEOs of the corporates, the owners of the independent practice. They are the whole kit and caboodle. They are the profession. We women vets are the future success of the veterinary profession. This is a graph from New South Wales. So Queensland's up the top. New South Wales is probably one of our biggest states. And this shows gender and age group that are out in the workforce from 2020. The majority of vets under 60-year-old are women. There are women vets over 60, mostly men. These men in 20 years are going to retire. and you're going to keep having more and more women coming through that system. So this power structure is going to change, and yeah, these men are going to retire and these women need to step up into those positions that they have. And my question is, have we prepared our women vets for this? And my answer is, I don't think so. Not yet. I asked to be a partner or buy into practice many times during my 40 years, and I was told no, or just ignored, really. And it would have been great. I was a sole parent, so it would have been a great opportunity for me to be able to manage my finances, manage my professional life, and manage my personal life a whole lot better. And many women vets I speak to tell me the same story. They're refused directorships, partnerships, and sometimes even a loan from the bank. So we need to be preparing our women vets with the confidence, the skills, the knowledge, and the opportunities to be the powerhouse of the profession. If these vets do not step into these positions, who is going to? Let's have a quick look at gender change. I sometimes get asked why there are less men in veterinary medicine, and you know what, it's not that women are taking over, it's that less men are applying. And why? It's not seen as a masculine career now. You know, you just get out there and wrestle with the horses and cattle anymore. And now there's better chemical and physical restraint of animals, so less physical risk to the vet. So for example, when I graduated, I'd go out preg testing cattle, and the facilities were not like you got today. We're lucky to have crush. So we'd have a crush, no race. It wasn't a crush, we would have a race. So there wasn't a crush at the end there, we would just have a race, and they'd put the cattle in there and rails behind the first cow and make all the other cattle go back. Watch them, don't let them come in that race. And you would climb over the rails, preg test, climb back over the rails, they'd let that cow out, run some more up, one cow, make sure the others don't come back, climb over the rails, preg test the cow, climb back over the rails, and this went on all day. So you imagine the productivity there, but we got the job done. Now, they've got this great system, don't you love it? They got that lovely big steel contraption. You run your cow in, you kick the gate, and you open the top one and you preg test. And they got ultrasounds. How nice would that be? I never used one of those, but I reckon that'd be really cool. Anyway, so it reduces the physical strength needed and increases our productivity. It's really great. And one of the first jobs I had was working for an equine vet, and he said, all I need you to do is be able to drench horses. You drench horses now if they got colic, like you tube them and put the oil down. We used to have to drench these horses for worming every 6 weeks. And they hated it because they knew you were coming. And so someone had to lug them by the ear, and then you'd get them around the head and you'd stick that tube up and you'd pour your drench in and then pull that tube out. And that was hard work too, but that's all he needed me to do was go and drench horses every 6 weeks. That was my job, and that was okay. But that's what I'm thinking. Things have changed so much, and now what do? The owner just sticks a paste in there or in their food. So, we don't need these big strong vets anymore. Things have changed so much. And so also things have changed in that low pay. Business not profitable, they pay well. We live in a mining community, we have a lot of mining around us. And a lot of the men go out there and they earn easily double what I earn. Easily. They do 7 on, 7 off, that sort of stuff. So, they're going to go out there and earn that. And even compared to medicine and dentistry, we're not probably in that level of money earning. Career advancement is seen to be less with the corporates buying or starting clinics. That would have been the next career opportunity for these vets. And finally, now it's seen as a feminine career and not so prestigious. And it's true, I've read that. I'll tell you another story. I go to the careers days because I love going to the school, and these little young ones come up and they're so excited about life, and they go, oh, I want to be a vet. And the girls come up and say, oh, what do I need to do? What courses, what subjects do I need to do? What schools do I need to get? What unis do I go to? Can I come and do prac work at your clinic? And I go, yep. And I actually have a printout for them. And here, this is how to get through the system. Come and talk to me anytime. This is good. The boys come and they come in a bunch, and one will be interested, and the others, honestly, will rib him and tease him. And they go, oh, what do you want to do that for? Oh, yuck. Let's go and look at the mining and engineering. And I don't know what the answer to that is. Yeah, I'm just reflecting and saying what happened. So some challenges faced by women in vet med. Gender disparities in the leadership roles in academia, as seen by the graph. 84% of graduates are women, 75% of the vet school executives are still men. Most independent practices are owned by men, yet 93% of our workforce are probably women. If you look at the vets, the vet techs, the nurses, the support staff, all those guys, they're probably women. But there's opportunities out there. I'm finding in Australia, and you're probably finding in your countries as well, there are women starting and buying practices, particularly the ones the corporates don't want. And they're making a huge success of them. They really, really are, because they've changed things and they're running them how they want. So corporates, we've got this system in Australia called WVAC, the Workplace Gender Equity Association. And this is all kind of corporate-y stuff, so I have to read it because I don't do much corporate-y stuff. Okay, they put out a report, and it allows us to explore the gender equity outcomes for industry subdivisions, groups of employers by size, and individual employers. So we can use this tool to gain deeper insights into gender equity, performance, and outcomes, and we can compare the results across employers and industries. So of the veterinary corporates I looked up, I found that they had yes to the following. This employer does have a formal policy and or formal strategy in place to support gender equity in the composition of their governing bodies. And this employer does have a target set to increase the representation of women on their governing bodies. So at the moment, where you've got pretty well 100% CEO male and 20% women on the boards, we can look forward to more women, hopefully veterinary women, not just business people, coming onto the boards in these corporates, because they put this out and they are expected to do what they say they're going to do on these reports that go out in Australia. So still talking about the challenges faced by women in veterinary medicine, here we have the life and career plan of many women, not all obviously. Here we talk about work-life balance issues for women, including childcare responsibilities, societal expectations, as well as working as a full-time vet. So graduation, it's great. They're finally out there, working really hard, working at a clinic, learning everything they can, experience everything they can, paying down their student debt, and being the vet that they always wanted to be. They're just loving it. This is great. This is what they wanted to do. And then there's commitment. They find a partner. Now, they need to decide whose career to follow. And inevitably, you're going to follow the career that earns the most money or has the potential to earn the most money. And more often than not, this is the male partner. Consider the gender pay gap. Okay? Then they start a family. Maternity leave may extend 2 years or more, depends how many children the family decides to have. Then there's the raising of the family. And this is where mums become, due to our society expectations, the primary carer for the children, and they will need flexibility in their career. This is where I personally feel we have lost so many women vets from our profession. For a long, long time, workplaces did not cater for part-time or casual vets, and women were turned away when they came back from mat leave. Hence, we had the shortage of vets. Rural and regional Australia had a shortage of vets in 1998 when I returned to clinical work, and it's certainly continued since then. Once the children are away, sometimes women are caring for ageing parents, and then some may be looking after grandchildren as well. How do I know this? I've lived this. 40 years. 1, 2, 3, I've lived this. I know it happens. And I talk to lots of veterinary women, and they are going through this as well. And you're going to go through it. You're young ones. You're going to have to make some decisions here as you're going through your life and have some serious discussions about your career and what you want out of life. So let's look at that big stage, the raising of the family and working as a vet. The past choices for a veterinary of 10 years experience. Do I specialise? Do I buy a practice or buy into a practice? Do I start a practice? Do I follow my career overseas? Do I go into academia, do a bit of research? Choices for a woman with 10 years experience, they're the same, but they can come with this motherhood penalty. She's got to take a break somewhere along that if she decides to have children. And often, their dependence on their partner as a primary breadwinner. The same degree, the same hard work, the same hours, the same potential, the same talent, but this motherhood penalty happens when a couple start the family as that mother needs to take some time off. Vets have told me that when they returned after maternity leave, there's been no job, a different lower paid position, no negotiation about full-time or part-time. It's full-time and you're after hours or nothing. And sometimes they're told, no, while you're away, we had to change things a bit, and yeah, there's not really a position for you anymore. And that's happened as well. The system did not allow for change until it had to. These women were not invited back to the clinical space, and we lost them as clinical vets. So over the years, we've lost them as clinical vets, and I'm pretty sure we are not mentoring, coaching, or supporting these women into buying and managing an independent practice, and I wonder if they're being mentored for management and board positions on the corporates. I've never worked for corporate, I don't know. This is where I cannot understand why I was doing the same work and earning the same income for a practice. Why was I paid less? In 2011, I was a sole parent. I could have done with more income, but I did not have the knowledge that this was happening, and I did not have the knowledge of how to negotiate for the same pay that my male colleague got. And I have vets that work for me now that tell me that this happened to them as well. They know that they were the highest earning vet in a practice, yet their male colleague got more than they did in pay. How does that happen? So this is another challenge faced by veterinary women. This is 2021 from VetX, Dave Nicholas, VetX International. Average salaries for women and men in the vet profession 4 years ago. This and the motherhood penalty are what contributes to what we call the gender pay gap. The gender pay gap, it's still here, 2021. Again, we as successful veterinary women must find a way over it, around it, or through it. We must deal with it. We need to talk about it. We need to ask about it, and we need to negotiate harder because of the cumulative effect that it has on our lives. The gender pay gap. There's so much to talk about. How is it calculated, and what can we do about it? Does it really matter? Well, it does. It does to women and any other person who works just as hard and is just as talented as the person beside them. This is a cumulative effect. Over a lifetime, the loss of earnings has a ripple effect on the financial security and well-being of a woman and those dependent on her income. Women, over a lifetime, and this has been shown, earn hundreds of thousands less than their male counterparts with the same qualifications and ability. This has an impact on their ability to pay for housing, pay down their student loan, provide educational opportunities for their children, and the big kicker is save for their retirement. Women have less financial, professional, and personal security. So what can we do about it? What is the future success of veterinary women? Strategies for empowerment and success. You have a veterinary degree, the same as anyone who started or bought a practice or became the CEO of a corporate. Find training and resources specifically tailored to help women veterinaries navigate the path to practice management. Find mentors and coaches. Work with them. They'll tell you where they made their mistakes so you don't have to do that as well. Educate yourself. Find ways to understand finance and how to negotiate a better wage for you whenever you can. Encourage vet corporations to develop initiatives aimed at facilitating the transition of board and management positions to a more diverse and inclusive demographic. There are some formal and informal women empowering contents for you. OnSwitch is a business in the UK, and they run an opening your own practice course quite often over there. 80% of the participants are veterinary women, as is going to be, isn't it? There are some amazing Facebook groups you can tag on to, veterinary women who own, veterinary women in leadership. Veterinary Women is a company, again in the UK, and they're helping women across the veterinary profession to realise their full potential. They're on LinkedIn, Facebook, great group. They have an ebook out called The Champions of Change, and it features exclusive stories of inspirational women who are making a difference and creating positive change for women in the veterinary sector. I'll quote Kerry Headley. She's Chief Operations Officer, XL Vets, and Kerry has said, "It is really important that there is equal opportunity for women to be leaders in our profession, not least because we are a feminised profession, yet stats show the number of women leaders is far from proportional. The benefits of having women in leadership positions has been well evidenced. Businesses are more collaborative and profitable. There are higher levels of empathy, fairness, innovation, and creativity, things that would benefit all businesses. And these are things that we're looking for in the veterinary world. Collaboration, profitable businesses, high levels of empathy, fairness, innovation, and creativity. Flexi is another business that works to improve your veterinary team's work-life balance, and there are many veterinary women wellness and career coaches to help with mindset, confidence and negotiation. Powerful skills and abilities we need to develop and use. Jessica's been here speaking for the last 2 days, and I'm so pleased to hear she's actually working with clinics to help you work back and look after your people in the clinic, because that's a huge part of it. We can't do everything. The whole clinic needs to be working well so that you can stay in there and be a confident veterinary woman. I'm speaking at the Veterinary Encouragement Conference in South Carolina next month. There's going to be 300 vet mums. It's going to be so cool. They have a great CE program. We're talking about neurological, dental, geriatrics, behavioural, also how to keep great people in the profession, all women speakers, and I'm so looking forward to it, to work with these supportive, encouraging, coaching and empowering veterinary mums. In 2021, Mars Incorporated launched a Here to Be Heard listening campaign to find out what women believe needed to change in order for them to reach their full potential. More than 10,000 women from around the world responded, and the top 3 recommendations for businesses were to make gender-balanced leadership a priority, embrace flexible work, and to step up parental leave. Do these things sound familiar? Are they happening? Gender diversity challenges would improve with these changes. But change begins with each one of us. Each of us needs to challenge the existing workplace. Another story I hear vets asking are, will I be able to get a job because I can only work school hours or part-time because A, my partner works away, and this happens in our area because, as I said, they work in the mining industry. I'm a sole parent. I cannot get childcare, and again, that happens continuously, particularly in the rural and regional areas. I play cricket. Oh, no, that's one of my ladies. She has to finish early on Mondays because she goes and practices cricket with her son and her daughter, and we actually sponsor the women's cricket team because why wouldn't you? She is amazing. I would be lost without her. She's the most compassionate, kind, beautiful person. She just works so well with the clients. Her surgery is perfect. She is amazing, let's face it. Even if she worked 2 hours a week, I wouldn't mind because she is just great. Come on in and do whatever work you want to do because you're a huge benefit to our clinic, to our team, to our clients, to our animals. So, and some of these women vets that I've heard say this actually have memberships as well. Do you imagine how valuable they would be to a clinic? Even if they did work 5 hours or school hours or whatever it is they're just asking for. Our workplace system was designed for men, by men. And let's face it, the entire world and economy was. It's not just us. Now we need to redesign things because it doesn't have to be done the way it's always been done. Because come on, even our x-rays are not done the way they were done. You can probably remember this. You take your x-ray, you scuttle off into the dark room, open up, you take your little film out and you look at the graph that says the temperature is this, you need to put it in for this amount of time. Yeah. And you put it in there and you set your timer. You remember too, yeah? You set your timer and you... Did you used to do exercises while you were in there? I did. Stretches. Yeah, okay. And you put it in the water, give it a shake about, and then you put it in the fixer for a certain amount of time and then back into the water and hang it to dry. But then you could leave the room, you could go out of the dark room. But we don't do that anymore, do we? We have found a better way. So let's change the workplace system to a better way as well. So what's the path forward? How do we build a successful future for our profession? By coaching and mentoring vet women in the field of business, see women as the new practice owners and mentor them. Support and encourage vet women through formal and informal systems. Encourage men to be allies and champions for gender equity. Those 100% male CEOs and 80% board members, ask them to make gender equity happen. It'll be better for business. Promote visibility and recognition of women's achievements in veterinary medicine through awards, conferences and publications. Raise the profile of veterinary women. We have in Australia 2 celebrity vets. Have you heard of them? Dr. Harry and the Bondi vet, Dr. Chris. Ah, bless, yeah, both men. Yeah. doing weird things, but anyway. Our community, the whole community of Australia, thinks that's how vets should be. And we're not. But, I don't know who could be a celebrity woman vet doing weird things. Anyway, that's how it is. But we need to get out there, wear your uniform, tell people who you are and what you do, how well you do it. Speak up. Tell people you own a multi-million-dollar practice. And then you can have the conversations about marketing, profit and loss, and the future of the profession. Collaborate across disciplines and industries and address systemic barriers and create lasting change. So talk about appropriate childcare, parental leave, work with women in the banking, business, HR, marketing places. They're business women, you're a businesswoman. The connections will be there, they'll talk to you. Have a goal, have a plan, and be persistent. Get a coach or a mentor. Talk about the gender pay gap, the motherhood penalty, parental leave, not just maternity leave. And within your household, discuss shared responsibility for children and the family. And have the discussions how to manage both careers, dual income household with children. Conclusion, change in the profession is happening. We can let it happen, or we can take the reins that know that we can and we must manage the change. We are to become, well, you are, I'm not, the academics, the world leaders in animal nutrition and health and food quality. Be the owners of the independent practices that provide a great place for our workplace, for our vets, our team, and great outcomes for our patients. Be the CEO and board members to ensure that the vet practices in your care are there for the good and the long term. Why? For the past 40 years, we actually ignored the impact that change of gender was having on the profession. We did not account for the fact that society has expectations of people other than work, and people need to do those things other than work. And this did not align with the expectation that we had of our vets to be available 24/7. Now it's up to you, as the new generation of veterinarians, to make sure that you have your say. You need to be there at the decision-making tables, where they allocate the finances, consider the ethics, the wellness and the care of your people. Because if you don't, who will? Non-vets, corporates, venture capitalists. This is our team at High Street Vet Surgery. I'm coaching our people to run this practice without me. They're obviously doing it really well right now and having a great time. They sent me a little, hey, good luck, Jocelyn, today. And so, they're having a great time. They work together really well. Our part-time nurse became our part-time practice manager. She's got everything running smoothly. There's rules, values, policies, procedures, pretty well for everything. I didn't design them. She didn't design them. We pulled them together, all together as a unit. If you're doing a job, you can write the procedure on how to do that job because you know how to do it best, and then we'll talk about it. There's training, coaching and support at all times, and one day there'll be a new practice owner, and I really hope it'll be one of these ladies. So thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to discussions and insights that will be emerging from our shared journey towards a successful future for veterinary women. Please, let's work together. The theme of this Congress is resilience in the face of adversity, and I believe that being innovative and being inclusive of all the demographics will make us a resilient profession in the future. Thank you.